The last few weeks have been just such an amazing wealth of news, and it keeps on coming. Steve Bannon back in the news for the absolute best reason he could be. He is facing a state indictment in New York, and furthermore, will be turning himself in, surrendering, supposedly, although not according to him, tomorrow. We're right on the verge of it. And what'll happen then? Well, we're gonna try to figure it out. Now, he did respond, I would say, aggressively to this development. He put out this statement just days after being swatted 3 different times by deranged thugs from New York City, inspired by the Biden administration to assassinate me by police. The Soros-backed DA has now decided to pursue phony charges against me 60 days before the midterm election because War Room is the major source of the MAGA grassroots movement. Let's pause there for just a second. So first of all, if he's actually getting doxxed, I don't like that. Don't swat people, it's dangerous. The idea that Biden wants it to happen, when has Biden talked about Steve Bannon, honestly? When have most people talked about Steve Bannon recently? That's ridiculous. Every day in America is backed by Soros. I don't know if you knew that, but apparently it is true. And hold up. So investigating Trump months before an election is wrong, even though he's not a candidate. Now, investigating like a pundit is wrong? That's an attack against MAGA? How broad does this go? Is investigating MAGA voters now off limits? Like, where do they think the executive privilege ends, JR?
It's the January 6th insurrectionists. How dare they make this political right before a midterm election? Where are these rules? They like to talk about how this shouldn't be happening before a midterm election. If nothing else, this is the best time. Let's find out who the criminals and the surrounding criminals are in our elected officials, so we can determine who we want to keep there or not. This is the perfect time. Why is everything upside down on its head? This is when we do want to know.
It makes sense to me. He says this, the Southern District of New York did the exact same thing in August 2020 to try to take me out of the election. You're not in the election. You're not a politician. What are you talking about? Okay, I talk about politics. Hold up, Jay, I'm gonna go rob somebody. You can't get me. I talk about the news. That's crazy. Not how it works. That's not how it works, dude. Anyway, he says, I am proud to be a leading voice on protecting our borders and building a wall. Oh, we'll return to the wall thing, buddy. Don't worry about that. The War Room show will be more vital, more intense, more urgent, and bigger this time. They're coming after all of us, not only President Trump and myself. I am never gonna stop fighting. In fact, I have not yet begun to fight. They will have to kill me first. So we're nonviolent. We don't advocate for violence. And I really do not, I hope that they do not have to kill him to get him to surrender. He's thrown down a hell of a gauntlet there though, JR, geez.
Steve Bannon thinks he's in a thriller action movie or something. He's stuck in 1989 when there was Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies where they're rolling over and then they pull out a gun and shoot that guy and then take 3 shots to the shoulder and look. This guy thinks that they're coming to. No, actually, he doesn't think that. He wants people to think they're coming to kill him because he's this very important figure in the world of politics. Bro, get over yourself. You're an annoying figure and you had the ear of Donald Trump. That was the biggest problem. And you influenced him for more of his illegal and hateful activity while you were there before he called you a fat, disgusting, unkempt slob and got rid of you. Remember that part? Remember that part, Steve Bannon? So we're talking about someone killing you. Donald Trump killed you publicly when it comes to your image and how you look like you smell. He pointed those things out when he got upset with you. But this tough guy who's like Rambo and you got to come and get me. What did he say to Donald Trump afterwards? Tough guy. This is all an act. There's a reason why these conservatives, especially these pundits, don't like Hollywood because they didn't make it there. They keep trying though.
Yeah, and now look, is there a reason why he is doing all of this ridiculous over dramatization? Yes, there is. He has to present himself as like, I am the shield defending you from these terrible corrupt forces. Why? To distract from the fact that he's just conning those people. He's not the shield. He's a leech on the body of the MAGA movement. He's just taking money from them. And that is why he is in trouble. This is a sort of state level version of federal charges that already went through that he got a pardon for. He's alleged, he and several others, to have defrauded contributors to a private $25 million fundraising effort called We Build the Wall, taking funds that donors were told would support construction of a barrier along the US-Mexico border. It didn't. They never intended to do that. They thought, you know what would be nice? To have millions of dollars and not really have to work to get it. So they're accused of taking the money for personal expenses like hotel and credit card bills, to buy jewelry, a golf cart, a luxury SUV. I think there was a boat in there too. Bannon allegedly profited by $1 million personally. And so, like, if you're in the MAGA movement, like, the dude stole literally $1 million from you. And they still watch his show, they still support him. They're gonna be rallying outside the courtroom. How dare you take this guy? He needs time. I still have $10. Let him rob me. Let him go. Let him go to rob me. That's what they're gonna be saying. The issue for him though right now is that while he got the pardon on the federal side, Trump could do that. Presidential pardons only apply to federal crimes and cannot prohibit state prosecutions. That is an interesting thing to bear in mind for both Steve Bannon as well as Donald Trump himself. But anyway, he is expected that he will turn himself in tomorrow, that he will not actually go down fighting. It won't be a Scarface moment or whatever. I think he's probably gonna throw on 7 or 8 shirts and haul his ass to the court. Probably what's gonna happen.
If in your declaration of having to go in and turn yourself into this rogue government that's doing you so wrong because you're a fighter for the American people, if you toss in there and watch The War Room every weekday from 9 to 10, that might mean that you're only here to try and promote yourself. It's weird, again, just like Donald Trump was talking about his medical records being taken when he's in the middle of an investigation about the highest classified documents that America has. If you're thinking about those little things and promoting your show instead, it's a pretty good indicator that's all you care about. Last week on my show, we talked about Gavin McInnes faking an arrest on his show. You know why? Because that will generate more clicks, more views, more money. This is all it is. It's a promotion, it's a self-promotion, it's a commercial, it's an ad. And he's putting out there going, they're coming to get me. And you know what? The only way you can help fight it is to buy some supplements.
Yeah, 100%.
T-shirts,
it's all
hats, then I can get out of prison. Come on, bro, come on. But again, like you said, these folks will show up at these types of things, will show up to defend him because they haven't run out of money just yet.
100%. Yeah, it's pathetic. It's like to do self-promotion when the focus should be on the news. Have I mentioned lately that I have a Patreon? Anyway, no, I'm kidding. No, it's just that's all. Like they are just that's all. That's what Rudy Giuliani is doing. That's Steve Bannon. Why does Marjorie Greene have a podcast? This is why she has a podcast. That's all it is. It's all. They don't care about any of this. It isn't about changing things or improving things, except the number of zeros in their bank account.